All right. It says, Sichach of Beis, Diburei Emuna, Chelek Beis, Amud Ayin Hey, 75. Grach zum Rebbe, immediately to Rabbeinu, the special beetle of Reb Nosson. It says, we've never heard or seen anybody who will serve his Rebbe in such a way. As we saw from the Rebbe from Moranat, he says, Mamash, he didn't move out of the Rebbe's tent. Oilo Shel Torah of Rabbeinu Ora, Oiris Baal Lekutim Haran Zatzal. He was Mamash completely Davuk and Kusher, in total iskashus and vekas, in total Mesiras Nefesh, in total bitul of all the Hagoshas, completely. This is the Lashon of the Churina Rov. And it says, the Torah of Hamten, which is Christ Yeshua, Torah Vov, the famous Torah Vov, it begins, the main tshuva is the person should be able to hear his shame and keep quiet. Rabbeinu told Reb Nosson Shabbat Tshuva, the first Shabbat Tshuva, immediately when he was Maskar to him. And Reb Nosson already went through a lot of ups and downs and trials and tribulations, especially because his soul was like a burning cauldron, like a boiling cauldron. You know, to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from the day that he figured himself out, was a tachas in the world that he couldn't find solace, he couldn't find peace. Immediately he needed to be a huge ischaskas, strengthened, so to be able to hold on and not fall. Because Reb Nosson, he was the chassan of the great Reb David Tzvi. He was one of the greatest men of the generation. And he was a son of a very mechubadik person, Reb Naftali Herz. There were great tzaddikim, big Yerei Shamayim, but there were big misnagdim. And he alone left their ways and disconnected from them, alone, a young man, by himself, without anything to lean on, and became a chassid. He went through unbelievable, suffering. You see, read in Yemei Moranat. So that's why this particular chassid needed unbelievable ischaskas from his new Rebbe. He left his father's house and his Rebbe's house. He saw in him the hope of his life. So immediately, in the first Torah that Reb Nosson was waiting to achieve, a restful place, serenity, the Rebbe told him, Hamti, wait. The main tshuva is that you hear your humiliation and keep quiet. Like somebody comes to buy a fasimon, this precious, fragrant oil, you tell him, Hamti, wait. Then Reb Nosson understood. And he got to the maskana that until you become an El Chayid, until you become what you need to become, you have to wait a lot. It doesn't happen at once. You need endless fountains of ischaskus, like he got from Rabbeinu. And they helped him, pass everything in one piece. When all his machshava was just Kodesh Baruch Hu alone. Everything to I think that we learned this particular this particular, I think that we already we learned about the Shmuel Isaac, right? Yeah. Shmuel Isaac. So beseder gamur. And Reb Yudel, and no, I hear it. Okay, so actually we're supposed to hold. Reb Yudel hears Kruzim Ibrahim. Reb Nosson understood the greatness of Reb Yudel and he admired him. And once he says that when he was sitting with Reb Yudel, we also learned this. We also learned that all the Yerusha, the Rebbe Zach, everything went through Reb Nosson. That's why the Rebbe was masmech him to be. He's the one who's supposed to give everything comes from the koach of Reb Nosson. So the Rebbe had unbelievable Talmidim. There were tzaddikim and chassidim and there were sarafim. There were mamash like the Talmid of the Baal Shem Tov. But the main ash'ara, the main is everything is Reb Nosson. There's an awesome story we're holding by Daf Peiv Beis. An awesome story that when Reb Nosson came to Rabbeinu in the Shamayim, immediately after Reb Nosson was mistalik, before he even was buried, it was known that in Erev Shabbos Kodesh, in Asor B'Tevis, this is when he passed away, he was mistalik in Breslov. The same little Shabbos, his friend Reb Naftali, that lived in Uman, was far from Breslov, he saw him in his dream. And he saw Reb Nosson is running. So in his dream, Reb Naftali is asking Reb Nosson, where are you running? So Reb Nosson says, Glach zum Rebbe, I'm going straight to the Rebbe, straight to Rabbeinu. And this is, Reb Naftali afterwards said, Reb Nosson passed away. I mean, it was during Shabbos, he already told him that Reb Nosson passed away. Because he saw it. And he says, and Reb Avraham Nachman was mafli, was praised unbelievably the Reb Nosson on this fact, even before he was buried. He was buried only Motzei Shabbos. He was already by Rabbeinu. On one hand, it proves on the unbelievable greatness of Reb Nosson itself. He was totally clean from this world. On the other hand, this unbelievable dveikus that he had in Rabbeinu. And this dibur, me, glach zum Rebbe, immediately to the Rebbe. Nobody could say except Reb Nosson. Why? Because during his lifetime was glach zum Rebbe, immediately to the Rebbe. So he was zeicher that when he passed away, he ran to Rabbeinu immediately, Asher. He says, we have to thank HaKadosh Baruch Hu that sent us a good shaliach, Reb Nosson, through which we were able to inherit all this treasure of Rabbeinu Zeh. And you see that Tafka, all the Misnagdim were mainly against Reb Nosson.
Yeah.
Mainly against Reb Nosson. So if we'll take a look, it says, what was the real way of the tzaddikim, the Talmid of the Baal Shem Tov and the Magid? Besides the fact that they were adhered to their makers on 24 hours a day basis, 24/7, they put all the kech in tefillah. They went to the fields, they went to the forest to be misburied, and did their unbelievable avoidance they used to do in Ting Chatzois, and they started from the second half of the night. The first half of the night they would sleep, and this, something, we will leave this for the next time we want. So shtekul mebulbul, I'm sorry, but I wasn't sure we're holding, blah, blah, blah. All right.